Hello, and welcome to my discussion about Halo and how it fell after a lot of good years. I want to go back to 2001 when Halo Combat Evolved came out. These were the glory days of console gaming when they led the fighting force in gaming. Halo Combat Evolved was my first FPS as a child, and I loved it. And while being my first FPS, it got me the first new gen console of that era. So I hold this game close to my heart alongside with Halo 2. Like, both were the games I had when I was a kid and played. I remember staying up all night as a kid playing Slayer Free For All with two of my brothers. It was a great time because we just all spent time together playing Halo. It was great. Now let's fast forward to 2007. The Xbox 360 is out, and it's the workhorse and the lead of the console gaming market. Halo 3 came out in September of this year. Halo 3 had split screen just like 1 and 2, and it also had an online play through Xbox Live, which you could play with all your friends. Now, one of the best things that happened in Halo 3 was this thing called Forge Mode. It was the best thing to happen to the Halo series, in my opinion, because it made people make their own maps, their own game types, and it made custom games the fighting force that it was back in Halo. It was amazing, but more on that later. I want to talk about the multiplayer in Halo 3. And more so on how you unlock the armors, because playing the campaign unlocked certain armor pieces depending on what type of difficulty you were playing on. And in my opinion, the way they did the armor progression in this Halo was my favorite in any FPS to this date. Like, the two armors that were locked behind the campaign were EVA, which was locked behind the normal difficulty, and then there's EOD, which was locked behind the legendary difficulty. And beating the campaign on these difficulties felt rewarding because you got rewards for doing so. And you didn't get no stupid in-game currency, which you can't spend on anything because you get so little of it, or you didn't get anything like other games where just you beat the campaign. Good job. So Halo 3 did it pretty well. I liked how they did it. There was also armor that was locked behind gamer score. You had to get so much gamer score in the game to get the security armor, which was also another cool achievement to get. It was something cool. It was like, hey, I worked hard to get this armor. Look at it. Like, I loved it. I loved this type of armor progression. There was also armor that was locked behind rank progression as well, just like normal FPSs. And the progression felt pretty good. It wasn't too slow or anything like that. I liked it. The last armor was the Hayabusa armor, the Katana armor, or the Ninja armor. It had all different names. People always asked how to get it, and there was always a different story from somebody else how to get it. But in reality, you just had to get skulls throughout the game, and then you got it. There is a variation you can get that is a katana on your back, and to get the katana, it was the same as the security helmet. You had to get 1,000 gamer score in the game. Now we get to the last armor, the granddaddy of them all. That's right, I'm talking about Recon, baby. This armor was the coolest and the hardest armor to get in Halo 3. It was locked behind multiple achievements and multiple games. And I can't tell you how happy I was to get Recon armor. I can actually tell you the day I got it. It was the last day of summer before I had to go back to school. And whenever I went back to school, I guarantee you that I went to all my friends and told them, hey, I got Recon armor. None of them believed me, but later that day, we all partied up in a party in game, and I showed them. They're like, oh crap, you were not lying. It was one of the coolest things that you could do in a game because everyone thought it was locked behind Bungie employees and all that. It was one of the coolest things they put into the game, and I loved it. Now that we got the armor progression out of the way and how it's my favorite in any FPS, let's talk about the custom games. Getting invited to custom games lobbies was what I feel like probably the best part of Halo 3, along with like the Slayer and all that, because I can't tell you how fun it was to go into these custom games and just play the game differently. Just something different than Team Deathmatch or whatever you like to play. It gave another experience, a different one, where you could play zombies, but it's a different variation. I still remember my first experience playing Jenga or Fat Kid. It's just a fun time in the game. Now, I built up Halo 3 so much, and I don't think it could be replicated. But Halo Reach made a very good attempt in 2010. Halo Reach was a very good game. Don't get me wrong. The campaign was very A tier. It was a very good campaign. And even the multiplayer was pretty okay. But they brought back some maps, but it looked like they just made it in Forge and it was like, hey, check out this map. This is totally a map you remember. It's like, no, it is a map I remember, but it's just fake. It feels fake. Now, this is where I get into the controversial topic. I feel like Halo Reach was the downfall of the Halo series. Now, don't go flooding the comment section just yet. I'm gonna give my case on why I believe this. This isn't really much of a point, but the armor progression, as you know, it's different in Reach. You get points that you unlock different armor pieces. That's not even the bad of what I'm gonna go over. I'm not gonna say I had a bad time in the game, but I feel like the implementation of sprint in a Halo game was the downfall of Halo Reach and the Halo series. Now, they added other abilities alongside with sprint, but I don't think it made Halo Reach any better as well. Even Halo 3 had abilities that you could pick up, but they were only one-time use when you picked them up, and I felt like that was a better way to do it. Because not everybody starts up with it, and it adds an unknown layer onto the game. I just liked it better. But I feel like every Halo after Halo 3 was trying to replicate Call of Duty, and I don't want to play COD whenever I'm playing Halo. I want to play Halo whenever I'm playing Halo. But no, in Halo 4 they added custom classes, and in Halo 5 they added the poorest excuse for an aim-down sight system that I have ever seen in an FPS game. And you know how Halo's the fun split-screen couch co-op FPS that you would just kind of play with your friends or family? Well, guess what? Forget that ever existed, because in Halo 5, they took that feature out. And then they showed some poor excuse saying, oh, it's for frame rate. Oh, we want it to look as good as possible for our fans. You think if we're playing on split screen that we care about how the game looks 343? Because if I cared about how the game looked on half a freaking screen, do you think I would be playing it on half a screen? I'm gonna calm down, and I don't want to sound like I'm making up conspiracy theories. That's the last thing I want to sound like I'm doing. But I feel like somebody paid off 343 or something to take split screen out of the game to drive up sales elsewhere with the console. But don't take my word for it. This was just something I was mad about when I couldn't play Halo 5 on Legendary with my brother on split screen. But thing is, with Halo 5, it was trash, so not having couch co-op was fine because no one wanted to play it anyway. But anyway, I'm gonna end the video here before I get any more mad and disappointed. And please, if you disagree with me on any of my points, go right into the comments section and we can go have a fun debate. But until then, please take care and stay safe.